What is special about curriculum is we stopped dumbing down the education for the children. Now, the people behind this curriculum are teachers. One of them has got a civil engineering background, and the other is specialized in English language teaching from kindergarten all the way up to college. And we have our partner who is a well-known teacher trainer for early childhood in Finland. In the example of dumbing down, for instance, we're looking at math. When we look at the curriculum set for children, especially like things for number bonds, it's always bonding two numbers. They have this circle, a number in a circle, and they've got these branches that comes out to two more circles. And the kids are putting either 4 or 1 or 2 or 3. But number bonds can also be 3 plus 1 plus 1, or 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 to make 5, or 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 to make 5. So this idea of number bonds then is not set correctly when they're children. We also had a look at how shapes are taught, and what surprised us was that they had a shape called diamond and they had another shape called rhombus. Now in math, we use rhombus, not diamond. One more is science. For the longest time, because I'm not a science person, I understood tomato as a vegetable. But we have a lot of them, and that's what they are taught when they're in kindergarten. But when they get to high school or secondary and they're doing science, now tomato is a fruit, so is a brinjal, and a cucumber. So what we mean by the oversimplification of the early childhood education curriculum is, let's say for instance you have a picture of a park, right? And the kids are told, okay, this is a tree, that's a playground over there, there's a river or the stream, etc. Like very, very simple. But why can't we talk to the kids about the sycamore tree or the eucalyptus tree, or the fact that this is a ficus, you know? Because in our classes, when the students are learning drama, we were exploring the physicality of things, objects around them. And we were exploring trees, and we introduced sycamore tree. And this 3.5-year-old child went home and talked to the parents about the sycamore tree. They learn differently. Now then, another example would be when they're taught shapes in math. So they are taught based on like squares and rectangles, and yes, you can give them even shapes like hexagons and etc. However, it's like they only know shapes as fixed shapes. What about the irregular ones? Can't we explore like shadows? You know, shapes in shadows, or like cloud, the shape of a cloud, the shape of a blob, or an animal, etc. Because you know, when they're grown up, yes, we do have to measure irregular shapes, and you have to also calculate sometimes the mass of the cloud, etc. Generally, the objections I get to this is that, and wait a minute, isn't this not appropriate to the children's age? Now, let's be very clear. Exactly what is age appropriate? Now, children do not go around learning and say, okay, this is easy enough for me to learn. They just absorb everything around them. And so there is a huge difference between laying the groundwork for future use versus teaching for exams. So when people in education talk about age appropriate learning for children, what they're talking about is what can be measured or examined. Now, for me, age appropriate is this, adult content, or the ugliness of the world, or abuse, which is just inappropriate for children because it can traumatize them. Otherwise, most things, the kids are just going to learn them and absorb them, and they know the names of dinosaurs, they know the characteristics of dinosaurs at the age of 3. That is how they learn.